Hello, people. This reading is for the week of April 1st, 2024. And boy, April is going to be the craziest month astrologically of the year. There is a lot going on, starting with Mercury going retrograde tomorrow for 3 weeks. And it's just so appropriate that it's starting on April Fool's Day, although I don't know how funny that is. Then in the middle of the retrograde, we have a really big solar eclipse in Aries, which I'll address next week. But just remember, under retrogrades, it's not all doom and gloom. Retrogrades are a great time to deal with anything that starts with RE, such as review, relax, retreat, re-energize, reunion. Retrogrades are known to bring people from the past back into our lives. So have no fear, just make sure you're reading the fine print. All right, let's see what the cards want to add to this weekly story. First, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is just sort of the umbrella under which this week is going to be functioning. And this is really about the balance between giving and receiving in your life. And this is going to be more pertinent to some people than others. Are you a person who tends to be a caregiver, a giver? Well, you may want to just look at that this week and make sure that you're also giving back to yourself, all right? I would say under this influence, it's not bad for money, but I would definitely be mindful of your money. You know, check and make sure, balance your accounts, make sure you've got some money going into savings just for a rainy day. Because this is a 6, it usually means that on some level, maybe for some of you financially, you're just getting yourself out of a financial hole. This really bodes well for things getting better and better in that arena if you're paying attention. But like I said, in relationship, just make sure the give and take is equal. You might want to have a discussion with somebody about that, because in the traditional decks, there's a giver and there's a beggar in the imagery, and what you don't want to be is the giver and the beggar. All right, let's see what else is going on. Again, a bit of a practical bent so far to this reading. So right in the middle, we really have the theme of adulting, okay? Especially in terms of lifestyle choices you're making and decisions that you need to make. So there's sort of this message about not hiding your head in the sand right now. And, you know, always when it comes to things that you have to do that you don't want to do, I feel like it's sort of helpful to think, what would your future self thank you for? So that's where we're starting. Interestingly enough, we have this card again that I pulled, this idea of making sure the balance of what's going out and coming in is healthy, whether that's emotionally or financially. And it's interesting because this outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. So for some of us, the wheel turns, and the Wheel of Fortune really is the card that's about what you can't control, right? The turn of fortune. Generally, I see this as a positive card, but I think the message is really clear this week, especially going into this crazy April, Just make sure that, you're aware of where you are at in your life and what your resources are, because the wheel is turning and you may get a super unexpected opportunity that, had you been prepared, you would be able to take it. So being prepared, let's say with your passport being up to date and a savings, okay? Or it could turn another way where all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with something that you weren't expecting. But have no fear. It's just a message this week that the cards really want to share for all of us. We're in crazy times, and you just want to make sure that you sort of are aware of where you're at in your life when it comes to, your support systems, whether they're emotional or financial or health, right? What are your lifestyle choices you're making, right? Make some good choices here. Now, another big message that's happening and floating around all over the place is transformation. When this energy comes up, this is more of a message. It's not necessarily something that's going to be happening, like something coming from out of the blue to force a transformation. It's more of like the idea or the topic of what I'm going to be calling self-transformation. And it's really being highlighted here in this reading today. And if we go back to these more practical aspects of the reading, what are some things that you can do to create what I call practical magic in your life? Taking practical steps that have a magical outcome. And this card speaks of radical release. So what are you carrying around emotionally? What are you paying for? Have you checked to see how many subscriptions you have that you're paying for every month? Well, this would be a great month to go look at that and clean it up, right? There's this idea of releasing to allow for more transformation and self-transformation, making more space in your life for, I would say, the unknown to come in, okay? There really are no guaranteed outcomes. I think we can do a pretty good job of being maybe better prepared for changes, whether those are really positive or challenging. But as they say, the only thing that stays the same is that everything changes. Now, over here in the relationship sector, I believe these are the only cups in the, here's some cups, but there's definitely a lot of emotional energy when I'm reading for relationships this week in a really, really positive way. So the first energy is what I call the wish card. It is a traditional wish card. So some of you really are going to have some sort of wish fulfilled that has to do with relationship, love, anything that has to do with human connection. But if you are thinking about love, this could actually, something could happen with you and the person you want to be your sweetheart or your sweetheart. And, hand in hand with that is another Cups card that really talks about a sweet, pleasant, easy connection with somebody. These two people are shown as sort of innocent. So when I look at this all together, if you are single, you could have a really special connection happen. Interestingly enough, this card traditionally represents someone from your past coming in, and I'm reading this on the cusp of us going into Mercury retrograde that sometimes brings in people from the past. And with that, some sort of wish fulfillment. Now, of course, this won't happen to everybody, but for some of us, it will. Wow, okay, we have 1, 2, we have 3 out of the 4 sixes in this reading today. And sixes are always an energy that shows the light at the end of the tunnel, okay? They usually come on the heels of a difficult time period. So I just want to give hope to some of you if you've been having a hard time that things are definitely on the up and up. Now, it's not going to be full steam ahead until May 1st because we are under a retrograde with that eclipse in the middle of it. I'm just going to say this is going to be wiping the cosmic slate clean for a lot of us. And if something's got to go with this death card, goodbye, good riddance, and just get ready for the really dynamic forward energy that's going to be starting pretty much around Beltane this year on May 1st, May Day. And expect some happy surprises and expect the unexpected because that is what I am seeing here. All right, I hope you found this reading helpful, and I will check in with you next week on the eve of this crazy solar eclipse in Aries. This is called the Great American Eclipse. It's going through Mexico, America, and Canada, and it's the last time that anybody will be able to see it from the USA until 2044. Have a lovely week, and remember to put some emphasis on things that start with RE. That could even include rest. Relax. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.